So today we have the honor to talk about a great topic, the combination of IoT and what it can actually mean for sustainability. Today we're going to deep dive into the topic of environmental sustainability. Environmental sustainability is actually a topic with so many facets. And global news truly show on a day-to-day basis, unfortunately, how real and tangible the consequences of climate change, as well as other environmental problems, really have become for society. One can say it gets clearer by the second. We really do need new, disruptive and innovative technologies and solutions that help us tackle the environmental crisis. IoT, or the Internet of Things, is a technology that has proven to be of great potential in this context. And this is why I would like to pose the first question to you, Ralf. How can IoT actually make a difference in this context, and how can it help us to better address the challenges of the environmental crisis?
Ariana, thank you for the question, and welcome from my side. And thanks for the nice introduction, by the way. Yes, IoT is a very diverse technology. Yeah? We have 2G on board, 4G, low-powered area network, 5G in our native networks, as well as per roaming. And it's a basic trigger for the reducing emissions. And as you all know, there's a dedicated target, yeah, based upon a commitment till 2030 to reduce the emission down to 50%, 5-0. And in case the industry is not fitting or not hitting those targets, they have to pay higher penalties. And with our IoT technology, we are enabling those industry customers to reduce massively their emission. Yeah? They can build new business models based upon that, so they can bring value either on the revenue base or they can avoid penalties. And the most important thing, ladies and gentlemen, is they can make the world a little bit better than today, yeah? By reducing the CO2 emission to that what we have agreed upon till 2030. Yeah? And accordingly, I'm very happy to invite and to introduce you guys our partner ecosystem, because Deutsche Telekom TIoT is very keen to have a sustainable IoT ecosystem, yeah, with professional partners such as Divirod and Omniflow. I'm very happy that you both gentlemen will join us by explaining in a more deeper level, yeah, how we can enable the industry to reduce the emission. Yeah, and I'm really happy to have you on board. Yeah.
Thank you, Ralf. Indeed, you mentioned our two great partners, Javier Marti and Pedro Wow. We are so happy to have you here with us today on the booth and in this stage session. So please welcome with me one more time Pedro Ruau, CEO and founder of Omniflow, as well as Javier Marti, CEO and founder of Divirod. Javier, thank you. Thank you, Javier and Pedro. Pedro, let's start with Omniflow. You created a smart streetlight or lamppost. Can you tell us a little bit more about the idea behind Omniflow and how your business actually impacts sustainability?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for the invitation, being here. It's a pleasure. So we developed this smart IoT lamppost, which is powered by wind and solar. And it can drop the power consumption more than 90% compared to the traditional lighting. So we can save a lot of CO2 emissions in a city, not only because we are saving this energy, but we are also including multi-functions into a single infrastructure. So a smart pole is an infrastructure that can combine all of these features like 5G base stations, edge computing, computer vision, electrical vehicle charging stations into a single unit. So what we see now in cities is one street light, one base station, one security camera, everything with different infrastructures. So our vision of a smart city is not that. It's not sustainable. It's creating additional infrastructures in the world, and this leads to additional CO2 emissions. We had to have an integrated approach for this solution, so we can do more with less. So that's our vision. So our solution is a completely integrated And we are happy to use IoT connectivity from Telekom.
Thank you, Pedro. So you've mentioned the connectivity. Can you tell us a little bit about how Telekom's connectivity actually helps you bring your idea to life and leverage your services?
Definitely. So we are a global company, although we are a small company expanding at this stage. We already have presence in more than 35 countries. So having a global solution where we can manage all the connectivity in just a single platform and mostly with a single tariff, it helps us very much. Mostly similar to what we seen yesterday's presentation with Mercedes. Of course, we are not Mercedes yet, but we plan to achieve a great scale. So
we look very much forward to continuing to work with you. And actually, to the people here in person with us, maybe you already saw, we do have the lamppost, or rather a small version of it, but still to illustrate it, right at the entrance of our booth in the Business Innovation and Trust area. So feel free to drop by also for a conversation, and Pedro and the team is happy to help you out there as well. So Javier, while OmniFlow is concerned with revolutionizing the energy efficiency of smart city lights or city lights in general, Divirod actively helps in handling and dealing with the consequences of climate change. Would you let us know how Divirod does that and what your business model looks like and how you actually have a difference in this context?
Yeah, thank you, Ariana. The issue of climate change is actually affecting us all. There is no one who is not affected by climate change. We're in presence of extreme events, weather events, everything from extreme drought to intense rains, hurricanes, tornadoes, and consequences of flood, which are affecting everyone. And with that being said, the aftermath of climate change is all for us, and it's about billions and billions of dollars every time we have an incident. So we at Divirod, we think that we cannot just stay calm and look at what happens. We want to anticipate. And we do that by creating and augmenting new data and water insights. And we don't conceive a future in which we're not understanding how to deal with the impacts of climate change. So what Divirod is doing is augmenting this data availability with a new data layer. It's provided by our network of sensing technologies and acquiring data at all times, 24/7. We're gathering a compelling data set which is revolutionary and is going to be empowering through our data as a service products all of our customers. We currently have customers in the prop tech industry and also in the water resources industry. And we're looking forward to have even more customers through insurance companies. So for us, we're a very small company, as Pedro was pointing out before, but we're still going global. So we have presence in the United States, we have presence in Europe, in several countries. We even have sensors in Venice, which is sinking, unfortunately. And we're looking at the impacts on the daily life of people interacting with water. And we would love to make it a much more reliable, resilient, and sustainable planet.
Thank you so much, Javier. I think that's a very, very nice vision. And unfortunately, the topic of water-related risk is, unfortunately, very much up to date at the moment. So Divirod sensors are equipped with Telekom's connectivity as well. Could you tell us a little bit about how you leverage the services of the Connect, or how it helps you leverage your services?
Well, Telekom is a fantastic partner to begin with, so I cannot be happier. We're using Telekom for our global connectivity. So it's one-stop shop. It's ideal for us because we can get data from anywhere in the planet and wherever we want to go. And we're going to go to many places. So we're preparing ourselves for a true world scalable solution. Further than that, Telekom is also helping us introduce our product here in Europe. And that partnership altogether will be producing, leveraging, bringing this technology and these services to everybody in Europe. And having a partner like Telekom, it cannot be more ideal to do that.
Thank you for the kind words. So Ralf, next question to you again. What would you say is actually the significance of working with partners such as Divirod or OmniFlow?
I have to admit it's inspiring, yeah, because it's a very important topic for us as TIoT, and we need that kind of innovation power from startups such as Omniflow and Divirod, yeah, in order to make this, to avoid this climate change and to hit the emission targets, definitely. And it's always really, for me, very delighting, yeah, to create value for the industry together with you guys in the development path and do that on international level, on global scale, because it's a topic not only in Europe, it's not only a topic in Germany, it's a topic on global level. And we are very happy to support you guys with our global connectivity, which is working pretty well in all your sensors and your hardware in your ecosystem, in order to make the world as a better place, yeah, by reducing emission heavily, yeah, on a long-term run. Very important, yeah.
Absolutely. And what do you enjoy most about working with partners such as Omniflow, Divirod, and in that case, Pedro and Javier?
That's quite easy. I mean, as a corporate, yeah, I'm really happy to have that kind of out-of-the-box thinking. Yeah, not only thinking in processes and in products and go-to-market models. So doing something disruptive, yeah, and doing something new, which is helping the industry for hitting those climate targets. Yeah, and for me, it's always a pleasure with you guys to work on every day. Yeah, for sure, we are looking towards tailored requirements from the market, but we always find the right answer on that, yeah. And I'm totally happy with that kind of out-of-the-box thinking and this disruptive moves you are doing, yeah.
Thank you, Ralf. Definitely. As we have a little bit more time, I would be very much interested in where the solutions are already being applied to and where they are actually to be found in real life. Yesterday at the booth, because we're also here situated right next to the Omniflow lamppost, actually a guest said to me, I recognize this lamppost. I've seen it in my city. Pedro, where can you find the Omniflow lampposts in real life?
Well, yeah, we have implemented more than 2,000 units in these 35 different markets. So we have a strong presence in the US. That's why we value so much the partnership with Telekom, because of T-Mobile also. But we have a great example with the first project done with T-Systems Iberia here in Spain, where we deployed in a city of Gijón. So the units are doing not only lighting, but of course, with the computer vision, they are counting the number of people on the sidewalks, counting the access to the beach. With this information, they can adapt the lighting of the whole city, because it was already a system project, and public Wi-Fi and so on. So it's a great project that it's already been scaled up for another cities.
Yes. Thank you, Pedro. So be on the lookout. You might actually find an Omniflow lamppost already in your city, or hopefully in the nearby future as well. Javier, you already mentioned a few places. Would you elaborate a little bit on the local conditions, maybe on the backgrounds? You've mentioned Venice, and where's Divirod already in action taking place?
Yeah, so we started in deploying in the US. So we have currently deployments all the way from the coast of Maine in the northeast, all the way down to south of Florida and the Gulf of Mexico. We also have deployments inland in Colorado, in California, and in Nebraska. And we are, made our first initiatives into countries like Spain. We are working with one of our customers is north of Madrid, and they're supplying water to the population of Madrid, which is 6 million people, and we're honored to work with them. We're also working with Venice. This is a little bit more of a humanitarian effort at the moment. So Venice is actually sinking, and the water levels are rising, and they have had major problems in the past, affecting not only tourism, but also eventually the whole artistic city is, the whole historic city is being affected by that. So our effort is to get into more places. We're a little bit behind. We're not in 1,000 yet, but our plans are to start deploying in hundreds on a monthly basis. So we're looking forward to that.
Nice. So you've mentioned, you pretty much took a look into the future. Pedro, where would you see Omniflow in the long run? Where do you see Omniflow in the next few years?
Yeah, so we are in a very interesting phase right now, because because it's a new technology, right? People want to test it first. So in the first years, we were deploying like 5 units here, 5 units there. Then we started getting projects of full parks, 20-something units. And now the cities are really adopting the system after testing for a few years. So we are in a phase that they are scaling to hundreds of units. And well, in a few years, we want to really get city scale, so we can get a huge impact in terms of CO2. And our target is really to retrofit the old lights that are just doing a basic service and consuming a lot of power, and using those exact spots without infrastructure investment, and install our systems to create all of these digital functionalities around it. So in the future, we will not be only a hardware company. It's a hardware plus software that all of these digital services come to life when we have our units on those sites.
Absolutely, because we already have streetlights in place, so I like the idea of retrofitting them as well. Javi, we've spoken a lot about floods and storms, but as far as I'm concerned, Divirod is also working in terms of roofs and snow management. This.
That's a very interesting market because most of the large commercial places have flat roofs. And those roofs are affected by water, evidently, because they're protecting us from water. Imagine that this roof is affected by water and it starts to have some structural integrity. How much would we be losing here if we didn't have this opportunity to be, speaking today here? So dealing with roofs is something that was not my first idea, to tell you the truth, but we saw an incredible opportunity to help in enhancing reducing operational expenses, reducing people attending the roofs, cutting back the cost of cleaning them, because you only have to clean them when they really need it. So our technology is providing some sort of 24/7 watch, like a watchdog, and providing the alarms whenever the roof is necessitating some conditioning, some maintenance, and so on and so forth.
Nice, thank you. And actually, as I'm sure you've already seen as well, sustainability is all over MWC and also especially here at the Telekom booth. So I'd be interested in your views as well. Have you encountered any inspiring sustainability innovations here as well, or how would you rate the significance of the topic, especially while paying a visit to MWC?
I mean, we have 2 good examples here on stage,
Right,
which are supporting us heavily, in making this sustainability happen, or reducing the emission saving cost, and very important, saving, or let's say steering the energy consumption, which is becoming more and more important. That's really exciting for me here, being on stage with you guys. But if I go through the exhibition here, I do see a lot of topics popping up, because it's not a topic for, let's say, for the next 12 months. It's a long-term topic for everybody here. That means the industry must do the digital transformation in order not only to hit the targets, the emission targets, but definitely to ensure that they are reducing the emissions, that they have a better energy consumption level, the steering the assets they have in place, and avoiding negative spillover effects like we have seen in Germany last summer, for example. And that is what is really, so for me it's very important that TIoT has, again, is displayed here with 2 strong partners, being your partner of choice as well. And for sure we are happy to negotiate and discuss with you for sure. What does it mean for your industry? We are round table, because it's not like one industry is fitting like the other. You have more emission in, for example, in the automotive industry than in production manufacturing, than in the energy level, and that's what we have to find out. But I'm excited to have these guys here on board, and that we have this kind of ecosystem already established. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. And if you're here in person, actually at the entrance of the booth, next to the lamppost, we showcase more solutions and partner applications which fit in the term as well, and really do showcase how technology can make a difference and how it can enable more use cases in this context to truly make a difference. How about you guys? Did you experience any innovations in this context, or how would you rate the topic of sustainability in the context of MWC?
Well, I think cooperation between solutions is a massive opportunity to really increase the impact, right? So me and Javier are actually discussing this cooperation, and because we will, as we deploy in sites, many of the sites are near water, and we can cooperate with them and them with us. So, and of course, we can also cooperate with Telekom and create joint solutions, so we can create a big impact in terms of CO2. And I think we all have to think in a cooperation to increase our impact.
Thank you, Pedro.
Yeah, for me, it's a very interesting experience being there in the booth and talking to people. I get questions of what is Telekom doing in sustainability? So Telekom is being regarded as one of the leaders in this field at the moment, and I'm very proud to be contributing to, with our grain of sand here. But the truth is that sustainability is a responsibility. We cannot rely on our governments, to deploy sustainable practices. We as individuals, and furthermore as corporations, we have to take a stand, and we have to make a real impact in society. And I do feel myself sometimes when I wake up in the middle of the night, like I feel responsible to do what I know what I can do and bring this to the society. Not only for the benefit of creating a big company, which is of course in my mind as well, but certainly to provide and to give back an opportunity to become more resilient, more sustainable, and have an impact in the world. We want to change the world in that respect, and we're happy to do it with you.
Absolutely. Those were great words. Thank you so much. I'd also like to point out that sustainability is, of course, not only just focusing on the environmental side of it, but of course also on the social side. So one last question to you. If we're looking at the people impacted by environmental disasters and by climate change and by other environmental problems, how was your experience when you were implementing your solutions? How did the people, the inhabitants of a city or of a place, how did they react to this new technology coming into their home? Not their home, but the place where they live in.
Technology, when you come in with innovation, people, they're early adopters, they're people more skeptical, and so on and so forth. But what everybody coincides is that the information that we have at hand typically is not certain. There's a lot of uncertainty, especially with water-related risks. So what we really want to do is to show people that with simple deployment, simple data processing, and augmenting our understanding, you can actually have on your phone the certainty that you're looking for. In the same way that when you're ordering an Uber or a pizza, you know exactly when you're going to get the taxi or when are you going to get the pizza. How come that in this century we're not able to say we're going to have a flood event and it's going to affect me this much or that much? Do I have to close the windows? Do I have to move my car? Those are questions that we cannot live with. And in this century of technology, we have to make a change.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. In our case, we have, because we have the wind, solar, and the batteries, the system is actually resilient to natural disaster. So if there's like a flooding, a hurricane, a wildfire, all of the critical functionalities in our system continue to work. So it has already happened in many places. So for example, in Switzerland, in a ski resort, power outage, and OmniFlows were the only technology working in that site. In New York also, with some flooding, power outages in all the states, and the site was continue to run. So with that in mind, they are creating special zones. If there's a natural disaster, they are pointing the people to go to that location. So this is extremely important to have these backup plans, especially in the days that we see it today.
Absolutely. I think that's a great and fantastic way to end. Javier, Pedro, Ralph, I can't thank you enough for joining me here today on stage, and thank you so much for being present here on MWC as well. It's a very hard topic to talk about, but absolutely necessary that we do so, and it's fantastic that we have so many inspirational solutions in this context, and that really gives hope. So thank you so much for joining here in person with us and being with us online. If you do have any questions, feel free to come by at the booth. As I said, we're right at the entrance in the Business Innovation and Trust area, but also reachable on our social media channels, Divirod, Omniflow social media channels, of course, as well, or just via the website. Have a great day, and thank you so much again for joining.